As runners, we all challenge ourselves in ways we never thought possible, pushing the boundaries of what we're capable of to smash through targets and set ourselves new, bigger and better ones.
This awesome hobby that we share gives us one thing in common, and it brings us together as a community. Whether you're working towards completing your first parkrun or you're a veteran of the sport who's run 100 ultra marathons, we all know the feeling of reaching that maxed out effort and our own red line.
Welcome to our podcast, where your hosts Brett Elesmore and Andy Maguire discuss the struggles, the successes and everything in between on our running journeys, as we all work towards the next time we're running the red line. Hello and welcome to episode 68 of Running the Red Line. I am your host Brett, and I am joined as always by my co-host.
That was very posh, very formal. My co-host. Very formal.
I was going to say, should we start again? But
I like that. Yeah. You've got to do it like that every week now. You're going to speak like King Charles.
my co-host.
That's how everyone
speaks.
Andy.
Yeah, there we go. How you doing this week, mate?
Yeah, not bad. Still recovering from the trauma that I faced last night at a quiz. Did you read my Instagram about this?
Yes, I did.
Unbelievable. I have never been privy to such incompetence in my life. I cannot believe.
What happened. I would have kicked off on my own outside after the quiz.
I'm so glad that I've had the support of my peers on this, because I thought I was overreacting. But so many people.
Yeah, I agree with your standing up and trying to hold your ground, but I completely disagree with the everyone getting a point.
I can't believe that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, explain to everybody what happened.
Okay, I'll set the scene for you, right? We went, three of us, Laura and her friend Becca, we went to a quiz last night. So we're at an instant disadvantage because there are only three of us. There's no limit on teams. Some teams were teams of 6. So instantly we're up against it. We're doing really, really well at the quiz. It's a Friends TV show themed quiz. And between the three of us, we're quite well versed on Friends. We're holding our own. We're coming up with some brilliant answers. We're unearthing some knowledge that we didn't even realize that we had. We even did some brilliant detective work, because one of the questions was name the series, and then one of the questions about 10 minutes later was the lady said, in series 8, such and such and such happens, and then Becca went, well, hang on, isn't Rachel pregnant by that point? So the answer to 18 questions ago must be series 7, and we were like, we should be detectives. This is amazing. So we thought we're doing so well, and all of a sudden, the last one of the final questions in the final round was, first of all, I'll give you the context. The quizmaster said, only answer if you are 100% sure, because if you get a question wrong in this round, you forfeit all of your points. So let's say you've got 9 out of 9 correct, but you go for the 10th question that you're not sure on and you answer it incorrectly, you lose all your points. So you score 0 for that round. We answered 9 out of 10 because there's one of them we weren't sure on, so we just didn't answer. So we played it what we thought was correctly. One of the questions was, complete this lyric. I'll be there for you
when the rain starts to pour.
Correct.
Why I sang that an octave lower, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, he sounded like Bryn Terfel then. But everyone was like, no, it's right when the rain starts to fall.
Just to show you as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for I appreciate your validation, but I knew that because it's a rhyming couplet. The Rembrandts wrote that because I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. Like I've been there before. Yes, that would have worked if it was fall, but it's not. It's pour. So the lady said, everyone started going, "Oh, it's fall." I was like, "Did anyone else write fall?" And everyone put their hand up, and I was like, "What? What is this?" I stood up and I was like, "This is what are you doing? This is unbelievable." I literally said, "This is unbelievable," like Alan Partridge would have. And I was like, "No, it's rain starts to pour." And then I must have looked absolutely crazy because I couldn't remember the lyric was like I've been there before. So I was like, before, it rises before. And everyone was like, what's this mentalist on about? And she's like, "Oh, you can all have a point." I was like, "What? This is crazy." Because literally everyone else in the quiz would have lost their whole. I'm getting going again.
What number question was it?
About 8 out of 10 in the final round.
So they would have all lost 7 points.
Yes, everyone would have got 0 for that round. And then she read out the winners, and we came second. And we think that we came second by half a point because we missed a valuable bit of information out. And the winners were the team that contested it, that said, "Oh, hang on, no, it's fall, isn't it?" So I couldn't believe it. But do you know what? Do you know what, right? And at the time, I couldn't even see this as a victory because the winners got half of the prize part of what it was, it was £2 entry per person.
Yeah.
So between 6 of them, they got about £3.12 each. But we got 3 free puddings each. Not each. We got 3 free puddings, so we had them to take away. And I had out of just absolute pettiness. I didn't even look. I just looked at the price list and had the most expensive.
Went for the most expensive.
So no, I don't want the brownie. No, I don't want the ice cream. Yes, I will have the churros. And they said, "Would you like an extra dip with that?" Yes, I will have the salted caramel dip. I didn't even touch it, but I will have it. And so we had 3 of them. But just the injustice. And I have been inundated with people saying, "I would have been so annoyed about this. I would have been." Yeah. So it's made me feel a lot better. But I was that bloke at a quiz last night that stood up and tried to literally explain why a question was correct, and everybody else was. But the quizmaster didn't help herself because she's like, "I've never seen Friends in my life. I'm just reading out the questions." Yeah. She was some millennial just reading. No, not even, we're millennials. She was some Gen Z worker there, and I was like,
"Oh, come on,
we need a professional mediator here."
Can I just say, we're English. It's Gen Z.
Yeah, Gen Z. No one says that though. No one says that. I don't get me wrong on Americanisms, because a Z, or disoriented, not a word. It's disorientated. When Americans say relevancy, not a word. Relevance. Well, don't make it hard of yourself. Don't add the E on the end. It's relevance. Relevancy. Is that technically harder to say? That's not a word. So anyway, yeah, they do make things, some. But Gen Z, yeah, that doesn't quite sound right to me. But
no.
Yeah. But anyway, I digress. We came second, and I was absolutely livid. And I think it was written all over my face as well. I couldn't hide my frustration. So I even did the well done to the winners, but I was like savage. Absolutely. I wasn't even drinking either. I was on the cokes.
I must admit, I do get very competitive in quizzes as well, and I have voiced my my concern about people getting points when they shouldn't have in the past. And when the quizmasters get the answer wrong themselves, that's the worst.
Have you ever done a quiz? Have you ever been a quizmaster?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
What environment?
So I've done a couple, but I used to do them for our. So I used to be long time ago in a Volkswagen club, and it was quite a big club, and we'd have a Christmas get together with drinks and stuff, and I used to do the Christmas quiz. So they used to have all teams and
okay. Yeah. So it's a fairly supportive environment then, a fairly Was it always themed as well, like around
Yes, I used
something?
to do it as quite visual though, rather than just being questions that are read out. I used to do it quite visual and have a projector projecting the
Of course you did,
questions onto
yeah.
a
Bet you
screen.
had slides and a PowerPoint presentation. Yeah, of course. Yeah, okay. But I did, you know, the Ladybird in Bromsgrove?
Yes.
I was the quizmaster there from 2007 to 2000, well, for about 3 months, I think, because I took over the
I
quizmaster
like
who
that.
had to
From
leave
2007 to well, for 3 months.
2007. Before I was politely asked to leave. Sorry, Andy, we're not doing the quiz anymore. No one's coming. No one's turning up because they're too stupid. But I don't know if you've ever seen. There's an episode of Gavin and Stacey where Smithy is doing the quiz at the local pub and he gets paid in beer. And he's just
Yes.
absolutely trashed by the end of it, slurring his words, asking the same question again. That would happen to me because I used to get paid I used to get 15 quid. I don't know why they didn't even just say, right, it's nothing or 50 quid. Why 15? I used to get 15 quid and as much beer as I could drink. So by the end of the tiebreaker, I was absolutely one-eyed.
Slurring the question.
Yeah. And one question I remember asking was a question that I should know. It was a question about football, but it was before the days of, you know, Google and the internet and stuff. So I used to read it out of this really dodgy quiz book with some dodgy, questionable answers. And one question was about football, which I'm so annoyed at getting wrong. It was something about a footballer called, and a lot of people will know who this guy is, Emlyn Hughes. It was a little bit
Yeah.
before my time.
He was one of the captains on Question of Sport.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, so okay, that's before Matt Dawson and Ali McCoist. Then,
Oh
well.
yeah, way before that. And the other one was what
John
was his
Parrott.
name?
Was he one? John
No,
Parrott.
Bill something, and he was a rugby player. I can't remember his name.
Well, yeah, my question was, what country did he play for? And because he's called Emlyn Hughes, I just assumed, because it said in the thing he was Welsh, but I think he was he played for England. But because he's called the most Welsh name I've ever heard in my life, I was like, right, Wales. And everyone went, what? That's not right. I kept saying, reminding them the quizmaster's always right and never to question the integrity of the questions. And I remember used to winding up these people at the quiz. And I could now I see how much a correct answer means to people.
Yeah.
And how annoying a quizmaster is who just doesn't care about a quiz. It really is quite quite something. But yeah, I found out the hard way last night.
Especially a quiz based on a specific subject like Friends. At least have watched Friends.
I
If
know.
you're going to be the quizmaster of a subject specific quiz.
Yeah. So it was poor performance. Couldn't believe it. But yeah. Absolutely.
Brilliant.
It's going to take me some time to get over that because, and she just said, yeah, you can all have a point. I honestly could feel my blood boiling. I'm stood up in the middle of a pub, remonstrating with people. And I feel like saying, come on, you fellow Friends fans, you should have my back. You should know the answer to this.
Yeah, but they were going to lose. They were going to lose a point.
They were going to lose all their points.
Yeah.
So we would have won because no way were we any more than a point or half a point away from this other team. So yeah, absolutely devastated.
Was it a mark your own answers quiz as well?
No, it was swap with the table next to you.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
And what annoyed me was the table next to me said I should knock you off some points for that reaction. And I felt like saying, well, I should knock you out. Basically, that's how I felt. I should throw me blooming lime cordial all over you. How would you like that? So, but I didn't respond quite as aggressively as that. But I was the real winner, I believe, because I stole their pen. I did not give their pen back.
Look at that. And
so this pen, so this pen that I've written today's podcast notes with belongs to the pub, and I'm never ever returning it. In fact, I won't even use it. I'm not going to bother using it. I'm going to chuck it away. When the rain starts to pour, see, it cost you a pen. That's cost you a pen, that has, guys.
When the
So,
rain
yeah.
starts to pour, like Andy's tears.
Basically, yeah, I was in floods of tears last night. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, controversy. It was riddled in controversy, that quiz, and yeah, we came second. And then what annoyed me even more, Quizmaster went and sat with the winning table and was chatting to them like she knew them. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, that's
So I just felt like standing up and going, this is a fix. I know this is a fix. I'm going to take to Instagram about this. You're going to be all over TikTok, you Gen Z.
You're going to be all over TikTok that I haven't even got on my phone and I don't use.
Yeah, I'm too old to use it, so you won't be over TikTok. You'll be all over MySpace. You'll be all over Bebo this time tomorrow.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Even I'm too old for Bebo. Man.
I'm going to write to the Malvern Gazette. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to be all over the paper, the local paper tomorrow that nobody reads.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Anyway, other than feeling robbed, how has your week been?
Good. We've got a lot to get through, actually, so I probably shouldn't have spent 15 minutes talking about that quiz. But we've got a lot to get through, including since last time we spoke, I did 2 races. So I did a 3,000 kilometer, no, not kilometer, meter run. I did a 3,000 kilometer run on Wednesday night, and I did a 10,000 kilometer run on Sunday at the 2 Castles last Sunday. And I went for a run today, and I'll be honest, my legs felt like jelly. So I feel like I've done 2 hard races in a week. That's how I feel today.
Which you have. So
yeah,
that's not
unless it's last night. Just
it's
now
tension through
residually
your body
in my leg. Yeah. So yeah, but yeah. Apart from just feeling so angry, I could just set that pub on fire. Apart from that, I feel all right. So yeah. How are you? Do you want to give us a fracture watch update?
Yeah. Do you know what? Start of the week, it started to feel better, and I was like, okay, we're on the up here. We're on the up. And then since Wednesday night, when I came to watch you on the track, it's ached more than it's ached for the last 5 weeks.
That's just because you watched the track race, I think.
Probably being in that environment and not being able to take part, I think is but yeah, it's just, it is what it is. I think one of the problems is I don't have a job where I can just sit down and at desk and do nothing. I am constantly on the go all the time in both jobs. So whether I'm teaching or whether I'm working at the shop, it's not like I can just sit down and do nothing and rest. So I think that's partly to do with it, and just also just the frustration of not being able to do anything. But last couple of days it's been aching quite a bit, but I'm still hopeful that it's aching. It's healing aches rather than anything else. So,
yeah, okay. I've got a technical question for you. So,
go on then.
You have been wearing, I think, your SL2s.
Yes.
With your boot a lot. So, have you been logging how much walking you've been doing? Because when you get that boot off, are you going to have to wear the right shoe? The other shoe, you've got the same amount of miles in both.
Well, the SL2s, they won't ever be used for running again, because they've already done 500 mile, I think. So they were shoes that were just set aside for times like this, where they could just be used to like walk around in or whatever. So luckily, I'm wearing shoes which I won't have a odd wear pattern on.
Yeah, because one shoe's going to have about 100 mile in it, won't it?
Yeah.
And the other not so much. But it was good to see you on Wednesday nights. That was really nice of you to have come down. And if you haven't seen it, it took me by surprise this morning, actually, because you have made a BTS
behind
the scenes of the race.
Yeah, so a new bonus episode, our third bonus episode since we started the pod. So bonus episode video is now up on our YouTube channel, and it is just basically capturing your thoughts and feelings before the race, a bit of footage of you doing the race, and then thoughts and feelings afterwards.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's a really cool video because I think you capture it well, because obviously I'm a little chatterbox anyway, because I just can't stand pregnant pauses and nervous silences, so I always fill them with words. But I was really nervous. I really was. And I think you captured that quite well, because actually it helped me talk through the process quite a bit. Because that's the thing about filming yourself and filming yourself running and stuff and filming this hobby. When you talk things through, even if it's to a camera or to a mate who's holding a camera pointing at you, things start to make sense a little bit more when you talk them through, and when you literally talk about your targets and how you're going to achieve those targets or what you need to do. Sometimes having them in your head can make you feel a little bit more stressed and a little bit more, it just makes it all seem a little bit more difficult. But sometimes when you lay it out and you actually say what you've got to do and make a plan, and having someone like you there who's an experienced track runner really, really helps. So I was actually really, really pleased that I had you as an outlet there, because otherwise I just would have been sat there watching everyone doing the throwing javelins around and the hammer throw, and feeling really nervous as the minutes would get closer for me doing my race. So yeah, I really did enjoy you documenting that. Actually, that was really, really good.
Yeah. And then I managed to catch Merv unawares with the camera.
He wasn't too happy, was he? I'd say he doesn't really, he's not as fond as being in front of the camera as maybe we are.
No.
So he was halfway through a conversation and then he just basically nearly ran off.
Yeah. Yeah.
When he realised.
He was in full flow chatting, and then he looked over, saw the camera was pointed at him, and just completely stopped mid-sentence.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I suppose with us too, though, we're constantly always around cameras and that sort of stuff. So it's kind of normal, really, with someone's pointing the camera at you.
Yeah, you don't really think of it, do you? Because if someone points a camera at you now, because we do it ourselves, we just instantly go into camera mode and chat to the camera and chat to the person. But people who don't do it and regularly and aren't used to it, having a camera pointed at them is quite a weird
just
thing.
Make sort of like a I've forgotten how to actually talk sort of thing. I don't know what to say. But so that was good that Merv came along, because we train. I mean, I wouldn't say he's my training partner at Worcester, but he's kind of the closest person I've got there speed-wise. And bear in mind that he's nearly a minute faster than me over the 5K, and he's now 5 minutes faster than me over the half marathon. So he's a really good person to try and latch onto for me, because he's doing all the work, and I'm trying to just, he's running his reps, and very often I'm watching the back of his head because he's in front of me setting the pace. But he's a good metronome, is our Merv. He's really, really good at running to feel, really good at feeling out, lap paces. And, you can tell that he's done it a bit longer than me, because he knows how an 85-second lap feels. And well, so do I after my first lap. And he knows how a 90-second lap feels, and an 80-second lap feels maybe. So he's quite good at, just latching onto at club nights. Yeah. So, and he's a good runner, and he's a great lad as well. So it's great that he came down as well.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to see him, because he brought his camera along as well, but he left it in the car because he wasn't sure whether he was going to take photos or not. Yeah, so he didn't actually get his camera out in the end. But he came down to support you, which I thought was ace. The fact that he came down.
What a lad! And what gets me is he works not far away from Stratford. He went home to Droitwich, and then he came back to Stratford. He said, "What time are you going to get to the athletics track?" And I was like, "Well, I probably won't get there till 7." And he finishes work at 5. So he's gone home, went for an easy run when he got home, and then he came back to Stratford. So that was pretty nice.
Amazing.
So, yeah. But yeah, so
the only downside of Merv, there was one downside of him. Can you guess what it was?
well, I saw the real Brett come out during a conversation towards the end of the night. And it was about footwear. And it's not Nike or Asics or Under Armour. It's nothing to do with that. It's one brand in particular.
Yeah.
Or one style of shoe that he was wearing. And it wasn't Crocs.
Yeah. Yeah. And he told me, it's all right, I only wear them in the day. I don't run in them, just as he was about to go for a warm down with you.
Yeah, so what were they?
Oh, I'm not sure.
You can't even say it.
I'm not sure I want to give them airtime. No, Vivo Barefoot. Oh.
Your favourite.
Yeah.
They really get under your skin, don't they?
They do. They do.
You really have a problem with them, don't they? Don't you?
Yeah. I'm sure they're fantastic for people who want them, but I'm sick of the adverts that tell you that you shouldn't be wearing running shoes for running. You should be wearing these Vivo Barefoot things, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I know. That's a bit much, isn't it?
But
I've seen people wear them in races, you know. I mean, people have probably run marathons and ultras in them.
Yeah, and people who do barefoot running and stuff, fair play to them and all power to you. But telling someone who has never run in barefoot shoes that the shoes they're using is destroying their feet and they need to change to barefoot shoes is a really bad thing to be saying, because if they change to barefoot shoes and continue running in the same way and midfoot or heel striking, they are going to absolutely destroy their body in barefoot shoes, because there is no cushioning and you need to be forefoot striking if you're going to wear barefoot shoes.
Would you ever consider doing, you know, we could be those kind of YouTubers that do challenges. I think you might know where this is going. Would you ever consider wearing a pair and just seeing if you could do a 5K in them or a mile or something like that? Would you ever even get as far as putting them on your feet?
Probably not, no.
Okay, that's one challenge that's not going to happen, so don't expect that anytime soon.
No, because as I say, I mean, I'm mainly a midfoot striker. I sometimes heel strike when I get tired and stuff in longer races and things. So if I don't change my running form and try and run on my toes, it's not going to be comfortable and it'll be quite bad for me to run in barefoot shoes. It takes a long time to develop a barefoot running style. Yeah. And there are people who can do it brilliantly, and there are people who can transition to that really easily, but I don't think I would be able to.
Yeah. I do often think, going back to the whole challenge thing, I would love to do things like that with you. Obviously, a fully fit Brett, like who can do this, or we did this in this amount of time, or we went to we ran a marathon in a prison, you know, those kind of videos. Yeah. But they kind of interfere with your training, don't they?
Yes.
And those challenge videos, like I used to watch the running channel do them, but like when I first started running, and some of the things they do were really quite interesting. Like they did one like who can stay in zone 2 the longest, who can run the most amount of vertical elevation in 20 minutes. And I think I'd love to do all this, but the zone 2 thing could run a run. That could be a 5-hour challenge. Imagine doing the vertical thing. You'd absolutely put yourself out for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And like these challenges, obviously people do like to watch them because they're quite entertaining. But I know it's boring, but I think I'm going to have to stick with my normal training, because when you've got like a target or something you want to hit in a few weeks, you can't be like, I ran a marathon wearing clogs. I ran to Amsterdam in a pair of clogs or something like that. You can't be doing stuff like that if you're serious about running, can you? I don't know.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Depends what you mean by serious, doesn't it?
Yeah,
serious about racing, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. If you want to improve as a runner and you want your you want your performance to get better, you've got to put that over the novelty content. But if you're just about making content for YouTube, then that's more where those challenges come from. So yeah, I think because we're more serious about performance and making our performance better, that would interrupt our training and get in the way.
I know that sounds like we're more serious about performance. It makes it sound like, how it sounds. But it's true, though, because I don't know why those numbers matter so much to me, but they just do. The same reason that, like, on that back straight, on the 3,000 meters, someone was going to overtake me, so I didn't let them. I don't know why that matters to me, but it just does. It's like running brings this side out of you, doesn't it? That you didn't know you had. And I know it's boring to some people, and regimented, but I really like the way that I train at the moment. I'll do my easy runs coupled with my club sessions and stuff. But it's almost like, I wouldn't say the way it has to be because everyone's different. But for me, I'm boring and I like it.
Yeah,
I quite like almost the monotony of training.
I like the routine.
Yeah,
the routine is great. Yeah.
And yes, the novelty stuff occasionally is obviously great.
Oh, it's fun, but if you're at the moment in a training block to try and get a faster 5K, if you next week went and did a novelty challenge,
how long can I run with a pineapple on my head or something? It's going to interfere with my...
It's going to interrupt your training to try and do your 5K, and then you're not going to hit your 5K target, and then you'll be angry with yourself that you decided to go and do some stupid challenge, which you didn't need to do.
Have you seen him, by the way, the pineapple man? The guy who runs with a pineapple on his head?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I think he does a lot of the majors, doesn't he?
Yes, yeah.
And I think he might have done Valencia, maybe. I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure he did. Did he do London this year? I just keep seeing pictures of him. Did you also see a few months ago, maybe it was going back further than that, there was a marathon in China and there was a guy who smoked a whole pack of 20 facts, or maybe more.
Yeah, whilst he's running.
No, sorry, I've just realised you probably can't say that word in 2025 anymore. Cigarettes. He smoked a whole pack of cigarettes, and he ran a marathon in something like 3.5 hours, something like that. And apparently he's well known on the running circuit. I'm pretty sure he's Chinese as the smoking runner.
Yeah. It's mental.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like, he literally will smoke during a marathon. But I did also read that the photos went viral and he got disqualified because apparently it's against the rules or something like that. But that's pretty interesting. Imagine smoking while you're running.
Yeah. Imagine smoking. Ugh.
Yeah. It's just so counterintuitive to what we do now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember the pubs before 2000 and what was it, 6?
Yeah. It was horrible. You'd go home the next morning you'd wake up stinking of fags with a really sore throat. Yeah.
And as a musician as well, because I know my sister Louise.
Sorry, I've just done it as well. Yeah, cigarettes, stinking of cigarettes.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're millennials, men of a certain generation. Yeah. But like as a musician, I'm sure you've played your fair share of pubs and clubs. Like, I remember it used to, like, Louise's like equipment and everything used to just smell of smoke. Let alone what you're breathing in as you're singing as a non-smoker.
Yeah, it used to be horrendous. Yeah, doing gigs in a room full of smoke was horrible, but it was just what you had to do. But it's like what's his name? Can you remember what's his Roy Castle, who used to do?
Say what you see. If you see it, say it.
No, that's
who's that?
That's not Roy Castle. That is.
Roy Walker.
That's Roy Walker from Catchphrase.
Yeah.
No, I mean Roy Castle, who used to do
Who's Roy Castle?
What was the program that Chris Akabusi then took over?
Record Breakers.
Record Breakers. So Roy Castle used to do Record Breakers back in the 80s and early 90s.
Oh,
and
I recognise him. Yeah,
And he was a trumpet player.
yeah.
And
the first picture comes up him playing a trumpet. Yeah,
yeah, but he was a trumpet player, and he developed lung cancer from secondhand smoke from playing in smoky bars and clubs all
no
the time.
way.
Yeah.
Oh no. Well, that conversation took a bit of a turn. I didn't expect that. I've just looked here. Born 31st of August, died 2nd September 1994. Yeah, that's pretty bad, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
it's a real thing as well. Passive smoking, isn't it, or whatever the word is called? It's and you think. I remember at the time there was outrage. We're ruining the fabric of the British culture by asking, smokers to go outside. But now you think about it, you think, why didn't we do this sooner?
Yeah. I know.
Like, this is, of course. Yeah. Remember, apparently, I mean, this is way before my time, but like planes, there was a smoking section. Yeah. Do you remember the joke on the film Airplane? I don't know if you know that film inside out like I do. It's a legendary film in our house. And they were like, do you want your tickets smoking or non-smoking? He said smoking. So he gets handed the tickets and they're on fire. That film is absolutely... it's just absolutely brilliant, that, with Rex Kramer. He's got his drinking problem.
Don't call me Shirley.
Oh God, yeah. We need to get to the. We need to get this mental hospital. What is it? It's a big door. It's a big. It's a huge building with doors and windows, but that's not important. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, we've got a few things to get through, including we have just had the pre-podcast podcast again, 4 or 5 hours, maybe even longer. We have devised, how should we phrase this? How should we call it? What first of all, what is it? Is it a competition?
Sort of. I think we should put a prize up for, top of the leaderboard.
Yeah.
I think
the prize is 20 B&H for the winner.
and some churros.
Some churros, yes.
So I think we should put a prize up for the person who tops the leaderboard. But we've come up with an idea. When we first thought about it, we were going to call it the Running the Red Line Grand Slam Parkrun. But
yes.
I don't know if we should go with Grand Slam now. I don't know whether we should just change the name slightly. But anyway, let's describe what it is. This is a little idea me and Andy had.
Handy.
I called you Handy Andy then.
Handy,
guy
Handy,
from what was he on? Was it
Handy
Changing Rooms?
Handy,
do you remember?
I don't even know. I remember Changing Rooms.
Yeah, Changing Rooms where they decorated the house in like in a night or something. They
is
swapped
that the one with
over.
Charlie Dimmock?
No, that was Garden Force.
Oh yes, that's good knowledge.
That was with Alan Titmarsh and what was the other one? Tommy, the carpenter or DIY bloke Tommy. But no, Handy Andy, I'm sure it was Changing Rooms, and it was where couples swapped houses and they decorated a room in each other's house.
Oh yes.
And you had like Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen and all them lot doing it. And I'm sure Handy Andy was the handyman, basically doing all the DIY
brilliant.
and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, sorry, we keep on losing track.
How do we do that
all the time?
Yeah.
Right. So we came up with this idea a few weeks ago, and we've been trying to sort out what it will be. But we've come to the decision that we're going to do a 6-week challenge for anyone who wants to get involved. So any listeners or watchers of the pod right now, if you would like to be involved, you need to send us a DM on Instagram or an email. Email might be better, I don't know. But if you would like to be involved, you need to send us a DM with your name as you are registered with Parkrun and your Parkrun barcode number and what your current Parkrun PB is. And
Can I just put in a sec? I've just realised we're going to have listeners here who maybe do not have access to a Parkrun.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we could make we could make an exception for someone who literally is living in a different country or where they don't do Parkruns. Mate,
Yeah.
we'll get to that at the end. So everyone is welcome. Yeah.
But yeah, it basically. So by next Friday, when we sit down to record the pod, we would like all of the entrants in place and our leaderboard set up. And you will basically have 6 bites at the cherry over 6 weeks to try and get as close to your Parkrun PB as possible. And we will have a leaderboard, but it won't work off all 6 of your races. Oh, what I say races, runs at Parkrun. It won't work off 5. It won't work off 4. It won't work off 3. It is your best one of the 6. So you could have 5 absolute shockers and 1 really good week, and that is the week that will count. That could happen on week 1. It could happen on week 4. It could happen on week 6. Yep. But the leaderboard will work off that 1 each week. And at the end of the 6 weeks, the person who has either taken the most off their PB or got the closest to their PB in that 6 weeks will be the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah.
And so this way, everybody has got an equal shot. It's not who runs fastest. It's not who can go the fastest at the Parkrun and break Parkrun records. It's not off age grading. So it's not people who are older can get higher age grading by going a bit quicker and things like that. It is off your own PB. So it's how close you get to your PB. So your PB, it will be as your PB at Parkrun stands next Friday, which will be the 20th of June. So you need to let us know if you would like to be a part of this by Thursday, the 19th of June. So on Friday, we can put this table together and leaderboard together and start it on Friday. So the first of the 6 Parkruns will be the 21st of June. And then it will run until the 26th of July. And when we sit down on the 1st of August to record the pod that will be released on the 2nd of August, that is when we will crown our leaderboard winner. Whatever we call it, our Grand Slam Parkrun or whatever we call it. So
we can do, along the way, we can do some honorary mentions, people that maybe have gone to an exceptionally hard Parkrun to try and run a really fast time. Anyone who has had any fun stories or long journeys. Maybe you want to travel to somewhere that is a notoriously fast Parkrun. Please let us know. We've got a Strava group where you can keep us up to date, and we would love it if you can follow us on our socials, especially on Instagram.
Yes,
and you can keep abreast with what others are up to as well. But the best way to do it is via the Strava group, the Running the Red Line group that we've got set up on Strava.
What, to get in touch and let us know they want to?
Sorry, shall we stick to the 2 ways?
Yes. So
which would either be an email or a DM.
Yeah. To enter, message us on Instagram, or even better, email us. Let us know your name that you're registered with Parkrun with, your Parkrun number, so we can look up your results each week, and what your current Parkrun PB is. And we will put you on that leaderboard. But you can then, we will also share the leaderboard each week on the pod, but we'll share it onto our socials, so onto Instagram as well each week. And we will, keep everybody up to date as it goes along. and the leaderboard is going to change because on that first week, it's going to go off that first week's time. But on the second week, it could be some people's first week and some people's second week. And it's going to keep on changing as it is because it's going to go off your best out of the 6, not as an overall out of the 6.
And we will be checking Parkrun official times, won't we?
So we won't be going off Strava time, and we won't be going off Strava distance or anything like that. We'll be going off Parkrun results.
If you don't know your number, maybe just send us an email saying your name and what your local parkrun is. So, for example, you're from, I don't know, Southend. That's probably going to be listed as your, or the parkrun you've done the most. I think that normally comes up as your home parkrun.
So, mine is my name, and then my home parkrun is Arrow Valley, and yours is Worcester, isn't it?
Yeah. And if you've never done one, what better way to sign up to Parkrun and change the landscape of your weekend forever? I promise you, I can all but promise you, if you've never done a parkrun before, you will be hooked after your first one. You're going to love it. If you've never done one before, just go on the parkrun.org or whatever it is website, and you can quickly sign up. It takes you 2 minutes, and then you'll have a barcode, which you can screenshot onto your phone, which you'll need to take with you after you'll need to show that to the barcode scanners. And that's all you need. Yeah. So yes, you could be featured in 6 weeks as our winner. We shall work on some prizes in the meantime, and how many, what the podium will it be? Top 5, top 10, top 3? We don't know who we don't know if anyone is actually going to say, yeah, go on, I'll be involved.
Yeah, we might get one entrant.
Yeah. I'm going to have a go. I'm going to put my name in the hat and see if I can win the prize that we haven't even nominated yet. We haven't even discussed. But yes, we just need a name.
Yes.
What should we call it? What do you want to call it? I mean, there's obvious things to call it, like the, I don't know, Parkrun Champions League or the Running the Red Line. The Running the Red Line 5K challenge.
Running the Red Line.
Should we ask our listeners?
What we should call it? Yes.
Is that dangerous?
Let's do that as well.
Yeah, okay. So
hang on. We're going to put up an Instagram post asking for names for the Parkrun Challenge or Parkrun Leaderboard or Parker's Premier League or or something like that. We're going to put up a post asking for suggestions for the name, and we will choose one, whichever the best, and whichever one we go, yes, that is the one. That's what we will call it next week. So yes.
And how gutted are you right now if this weekend, the weekend of the Saturday the 14th, if you run a PB tomorrow,
that's the
for you.
Time you're going to be.
You've just made it harder for yourself. So sorry in advance.
Yeah, but as I say, this is one for everybody at all speeds. It's not about how fast you can run; it's about how close to your PB you can get.
And what we want to do is just try and encourage a few people to run the red line over the next 6 weeks, and maybe save it all for that last Super Saturday.
Yeah,
where everyone is going for the same thing, and going for a fast time. And like we've said, you could be running a parkrun. Your time could be an hour. Your time could be, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter of your gender, your ability, or whatever. So
the only person you are being compared to for your time is yourself. Yeah. We are not comparing your time against anyone else. We're comparing your time against your personal best.
And the good thing is about this is that we've heard this before, that we hear a lot of the same names on the Strava segment leaderboard. So maybe this could be your chance, to win, to get the W.
Yeah.
So this actually may suit the middle and the back of the pack runners better. So everyone, but that's still, if you're running 15 minutes, you might still fancy trying to take 30 seconds off. You never know. So I'm sure Adam Hill's listening to this, trying to break. He's going to go for George Mills's record now because he wants the W. But yeah, so that's quite exciting. Over the next few weeks, we'll hopefully have a good little competition for you all.
Yeah. So look out for that. But look out for that on Instagram so you can give us some ideas for names. But also, if you are interested in joining up, send us an email or send us a message on Instagram, letting us know your name, your Parkrun number, your barcode number, and your current Parkrun PB. And we shall get you on the list.
There was even talk of a spreadsheet. So we're taking this seriously.
Yeah.
So it might even be color coded. You never know.
Yeah. Just because both me and Andy, we aren't busy enough. So we thought we'd take on even more admin.
I'll tell you what we need in our life. Yeah. So that should be fun. So looking forward to that.
Yeah. Ace. So get those entries in. But also this week, shall we go through a little bit of news of what's happened this week?
Yes.
First thing, and possibly the craziest thing, is Grand Slam Track has cancelled their LA meet, which was due to happen in a couple of weeks, and ended the inaugural season here. So after 3 meets, they've decided to end their first year and focus on 2026's Grand Slam Track event.
So there was only one more meet left.
Yeah, so there was 4 planned for this year. They did the first one in Kingston in Jamaica. And then they did the second one in Miami, the third one in Philadelphia. And it was supposed to be in LA, Los Angeles, for the 4th event, or Slam, as they've been calling them. But they've decided to cancel the 4th one and concentrate on preparing and planning for next year's meets. They said that although they're gutted they won't be going to LA, they will make sure that LA is one of the venues for one of the slams in 2026.
Wow. What do you think of that then?
It's an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do
you reckon it's financial, or do you reckon it's, it's surely every decision at that level must revolve around finances?
Yeah, I would have thought so. I don't know. I mean, the prize money they were giving out is exceptionally high for athletics meets. There's never been prize money that high before. So number one, they've got to have some good sponsors or investors to put that money up in the first place.
Yeah.
The meets, although they were well attended, they weren't massively attended, and like at some of the meets, they were blocking off areas of the stadium where seating is, and not having any like spectators there and stuff. So were the tickets selling as well as they wanted them to? Was the TV or live coverage getting the viewership that they wanted? Because I know like in Australia, they couldn't watch it live because there was no channel or streaming service that took on the rights in Australia to show the meets, so people couldn't watch it live over there and stuff. And then it's been met with mixed reactions. I think it was brilliant. I've really enjoyed it, but I've not watched it live. I've only watched the races after they've happened. I've not watched all of the bits in between, so
Yeah.
I've not actually seen what a live broadcast is like. So I don't know.
Is it only track events, not field?
No, there's no field. It's only track.
Right.
Which was met with some resistance from field athletes at the start. They were like, "Why are you only concentrating on the track?"
Yeah.
But at the same time, Michael Johnson wanted to make a track running specific league, not a track and field league.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it must be hard enough being an athlete, but imagine if you're, I don't know, a hammer thrower. Can you name any hammer throwers? I can name Fatima Whitbread. She was javelin, wasn't she?
yeah, and Tessa Sanderson.
Any discus throwers?
What was his name? Steve Backley was our
legend.
javelin thrower.
Yeah. But
yeah.
it must be so hard to make money, even harder to make money out of that. Being a fielder, you'd have to completely dominate your event to get sponsorship. I would have thought. I don't know, but I don't know if there are levels and tiers of sponsorship. You know, whether they still have to have a full-time job. You know, as if you're a discus thrower, maybe you might be sponsored by Nike, but you've still got to go to work every day. I don't know. It must be such a hard living. But anyway, the track thing, that's. I can see where they've tried to make this big rock and roll event out of it.
Yeah,
because it did need it. Because I wouldn't say it's interesting. It's been dwindling, but apart from the Olympics, a lot of people maybe look at once every 4 years to look at the track stuff. The majority of people, and apart from that, they won't be that interested in it. So maybe by putting on this big event, that was the idea to try and
yeah. And I think they have done well. I think they have brought new people to viewership of track through that, and through the way they've been so visible on social media and pushing it big time on there. Like Instagram, they're posting constantly, and it's really slick, really good content. So I think they have brought new eyes to the sport, but how sustainable is that from a financial viewpoint?
Because they must be hemorrhaging money. If you think about the prize money they're paying out, and obviously the TV rights. I don't know how it works with TV rights. Do the companies pay to host, or do they?
TV broadcasters would pay Grand Slam track to be able to broadcast their event.
So it just maybe it's just a outgoings versus incomings sort of scenario, but so it's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, Michael Johnson made a statement, and he said the decision to conclude the inaugural Grand Slam track season is not taken lightly, but one rooted in a belief that we have successfully achieved the objectives we set out to do in the pilot season, and the importance of looking towards 2026 and beyond. We launched with a bold vision to reimagine professional track racing, and we could not be more excited about what we have accomplished so far, delivering amazing races to a rabid fan base. As we've said all along, we were going to have learnings, make adjustments, and continue to improve. Sometimes we have to make moves that aren't comfortable, but what's most important in the future and sustainability of the league. The global economic landscape has shifted dramatically in the past year, and this is a business decision been made to ensure our long-term stability as the world's premier track league. Our attention now is 2026, with our eyes set on continuing to deliver the best-in-class storytelling, content, and competition that we have become known for in our debut year. So, it looks like it is financial viability and making sure that they don't overspend in their first year, which means that's the only year it happens.
Yeah.
I think they're looking towards the future, and if they want it to be something that happens for the foreseeable future in the next few years, they can't overspend in that first year and have no money to put into it in the next year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we shall have to see how it adjusts over the winter, I guess. And do you think it will stay stateside? Do you think
I
it'll
don't
only
know.
ever be?
He is talking about where else did he say? So he said, I want to thank all of the incredible athletes who participated in Grand Slam track this season. True trailblazers. No, sorry, hang on. I've missed a bit. There we go. We're in conversations with potential host cities, many of whom have already thrown their names in the hat to build out an exciting calendar of events for our fans across the globe.
Okay, yeah.
Committed to calling LA home and look forward to hosting a slam in LA as part of the 2026 season.
Right.
So it looks like they want to try and expand it around the world.
Yeah.
But that possibly does make it more difficult as well with travel, because people are going to have to travel to different things to take part in the slams.
Yeah.
But then I suppose that's the same as going to a Diamond League, because Diamond Leagues happen in China, they happen in Oslo, they happen in London, they happen all over the place. So
yeah, interesting.
But yeah, I'm guessing, they've called it early so they don't hemorrhage money, which they can't make back. And if they've still got enough in the coffers now, they can look forward to 2026 and make a good event. Because I think some of the racers that signed up at the start of the year signed on for multi-year deals. They didn't just sign up for 1 year.
Yeah.
So obviously, if they're going to honor those contracts, they've got to keep the event going for more than 1 year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But never mind. That's something to look forward to next year.
Yeah. Well, sticking with the track, shall we move on to George Mills?
Yes. So the Oslo Diamond League was on Thursday, the Bislett Games, which normally is where Jakob Ingebrigtsen comes along, because that's his home.
Is he from Oslo? Is he? Yeah, yeah.
Well, he's from Norway, isn't he? And Oslo's Norway, isn't it? I am right in saying that, aren't I?
Yeah.
So but because he is injured, he wasn't in the race. So there was 2 different races, which we probably would be interested in. There was the 5,000 meters, and then there was also the Dream Mile. So there was a mile race, which is what Jakob normally races. Let's quickly just go through the mile first. It's called the Dream Mile, and the winner was Isaac Nader. I think it's Nader. And he came out on top and ran a Portuguese record of 3:48.24. So he ran a 3:48 mile to get the Portuguese record and win the race. Second was Cam Myers, the Australian runner. For his age, he is incredible. I think he's only 18, 19. And he's running ridiculously well. He came second in 3:48.87, and then third was Stefan Nielsen in 3:49.02. Our British interest in that was Elliot Giles, and he came through in 7th in 3:49.16.
Yep.
But 11 men in that race went under 3:50 for a mile, which is pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, that's amazing.
I think there was 13 finishers, and 11 of them came in under 3:50, and the other 2 were 3:50 point something, so under 3:51. But yeah, crazy. But then the exciting one was the 5,000 meters, and originally it was billed as a world record attempt, and some of the Ethiopian runners were going to go for the world record.
Yeah.
But in the end, they didn't quite hit the world record, and the two Ethiopians came in second and third. And on top was Nico Young, who is an American runner, and he broke the US record to come in first place with 12:45.27. So he is now the fastest US runner over 5,000 meters, which I think is breaking Grant Fisher's record. He was just off Grant Fisher's indoor record. He didn't quite. I think Grant Fisher has run faster indoors, but indoors and outdoors records are two separate categories. But the amazing thing in that race was coming into the final 200 meters, leading the race was George Mills, our GB runner, who is son of Danny Mills, the English England footballer.
Yep.
But George Mills was in first place with 200 to go, and he just got slightly outkicked by Nico Young and the two Ethiopians, Mahari and Germa. But he came in fourth place in 12:46.59, which is a brand new British record, which means he's taken the record off Mo Farah. But not only did he beat Mo Farah's record, he smashed it by 7 seconds.
That's a lot at that pace, isn't it?
Yeah. So he has taken down the British record by 7 seconds from Mo Farah to run 12:46.59. And he is now the second fastest European of all time.
Really?
Can you guess who might be faster than him as a European?
Would it be Jakob Ingebrigtsen?
Quite possibly, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he is now the second fastest European and the British record holder for the 5,000 meters, which is pretty incredible.
It's not far off my time that I did on the 3,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I was going fast. It's just sickening, isn't it? 12:46.
Yeah.
What a performance that is. He first caught my eye in the Olympics last year. I must confess I didn't know anything about George Mills, but
okay.
He's a good runner, isn't he?
He's
he seems to hold his own on the 3,000. Has he run the 1,500 as well a few times?
Yeah. He was in the Paris Olympics. He was in both the 1,500 and the 5,000.
Yeah, because it was him who famously got tripped, wasn't it? And was allowed into the final. Yeah. But he's obviously in some really, really good form, and it's really exciting for him. Yeah,
he runs for he's sponsored by and he's in the training group of the On European group. So he runs for On, but he's in the European training group of On.
Right. Okay.
And he's improved over the last few years really rapidly. He's got better and better and better. But that was an incredible run from George Mills. So new British record.
Wow.
To beat it by 7 seconds from not just anyone as well, to beat Mo Farah's British record is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty good day at the office, George. That's not a bad day at all. Yeah. I was going to say, I don't know, does that wrap up the Diamond League, by the way?
It does, yes. Yeah.
There's a couple of shout outs from people that raced last week who I was going to give a shout out because I've got a couple of things to chat about myself. I did 2 races last week. So first of all, somebody we've forgotten to talk about, but you just mentioned Tommy from Garden Force or whatever it was.
Yes. Ah, yes.
And we forgot to consider. Yes, I can't believe this. Thank God for Garden Force, or blooming changing rooms or whatever it was. Tommy D. He raced in the Swansea half last week, which is a race that I've looked at a few times because it's apparently a fast and a flat one. Really well supported. Obviously, Swansea's a really cool city as well, in a really nice part of the world. I think there's a lot of running by the seaside, and yeah, it seems like a really good race. And Tommy D, as we know, he's been improving year on year, and I know he was being sick out the side of a taxi in Boston. Maybe not his finest performance in Boston, but he's a sub-3 run. He's comfortably inside sub-3. He ran his half marathon in Swansea, sub-80, not even sub-120, sub-80 now. He did 79.52. So he did 119, yeah. And he did, was it 52? I've got it.
119.52. Yeah, so that was his first time of breaking 120, breaking the 80-minute barrier, which is amazing. Tommy, that's awesome. And he was 119th out of 5,730 people. So
what a performance.
Not bad, is it?
Tommy D, can you please forgive us? We nearly didn't mention your lifetime crowning achievement. I can't believe it. It was only until Brett mentioned a cult sort of niche 90s garden related program till we remembered your achievement. So we do apologize profusely, but very, very well done. That what a
amazing work, Tommy. Smashing that 80-minute barrier is a big old challenge, and to do that is awesome.
That must feel incredible to dip inside that barrier by just a few seconds as well. So I'd love to know what that final 100 meters felt like.
Yeah. We also need to give a shout out as well to his, do we say coach or like a club leader, Mike Roderick.
Yep.
Or Rodders from Try Hard Harriers, because the Swansea half, it was also the English and Welsh half marathon championships, weren't it?
Yes.
The Masters championships.
Yeah.
And Mike came in 11th place overall. Wow. And he was the third Welsh Masters finisher. I think just in front of him was Matt Rees as well. The Welsh runner. He was just in front of Mike, so he came in his second Welsh finisher. So awesome. But Mike managed to run 1 hour 10 and 19, so 70 minutes and 19 seconds, which is incredible.
Coming back from his injury as well, where he basically had the whole winter off, didn't he?
Yep. So he's back on form and back running really, really well, which is great to see.
Yeah, that's amazing. So yeah, very, very well done, Mike. Yeah, that's what a performance that is.
Yeah. So some good results from that race.
Kieran Turner.
Yes.
K-Dog.
Yes.
Set himself Apollo bar. And his Apollo bar, yes. He set himself a challenge of running 20 laps. Now, for those of you who don't know how Endure 24 works, it's a 24-hour race that's 5-mile loops, and you keep going until 24 hours, the bell rings, basically, and you can't run anymore. And the idea is run as far as you can in that time. So 20 laps, obviously, is 100 miles, 160 kilometers. Kieran had that sort of target for a long, long time. And obviously, it's a very, very tough target to hit. But guess what? 20 laps completed in 23 hours and 52 minutes.
Oh, yes.
That's his
Incredible.
Strava time. So I don't know the chip time. I'm sure it is fairly similar to that. He racked up 1,896 meters of elevation along the way. So that's nearly 2 Ben Nevises, not far off 2 Scaffold Pikes, with an 8.54 per kilometer average. So I can't be bothered to work that out in miles. That's about, I don't know what that is, but that is
amazing.
No resting, basically. no time to go to sleep. I mean, I don't think he had a sleep, or if he did, it probably wasn't for much longer than an hour, or I don't know. But Kieran basically got round, and if you finish before you can, if you get in before the 24 hours is up, you can go around again. So Kieran said a part of him wishes he'd gone round for that 21st lap. And he's almost a little bit disappointed at himself for not doing that. I said, mate, there's no T-shirt for doing 105 miles.
Exactly.
You don't need to do that.
No.
You set out what you decided to do. You got the T-shirt. You're in the 100 club.
Yeah.
And you hit target well within 24 hours as well. You know, that is...
Yeah,
that's one of those things that only us runners can relate to, where we've done something epic, but we wanted it to be epicer than it was.
Well, it's the same as what we were saying last week when you hit a PB and you go, "Oh, I could have gone faster than that."
Yeah.
So he's done under a mile, and he's now going, "Oh, I could have done 105 though."
Yeah, I know.
It's mad. He's done 100 miles.
That is absolute 100 miles. That is, I mean, from where we live, from Worcester, 100 miles away. I'd say that's probably not far off London. That's a long way to run. That is insane when you think about the distance run. So yeah, absolutely insane. What a run. And he didn't even have an Apollo bar. I can't believe it. He had it the day after.
What? He didn't eat it while he was running?
Didn't have it, no. He put it on Instagram. And he said, here's my review. He said his review was, they're quite good. So you heard it here first. Yeah. If you haven't already heard it before. Apollo bars from Asda, I think. Yeah. They're quite good.
His photo on the couch eating that Apollo bar was amazing.
So, I hope your recovery is going well, Kieran. I know you said you had quite wisely, but a couple of days off work, Monday and Tuesday. And I'm sure that hurt quite a bit. I wonder what the sleep is like for the days leading, away from that. Like, are you able to get a good sleep, or are you sort of unable to get routine back for a few days? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you finish midday. I'm pretty sure it's midday. It starts and finishes.
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah, and did you drive home, Kieran? Surely you didn't drive home. Please tell me you didn't. In fact, if you did, just maybe don't confess.
Yeah.
But although I don't know if that is actual offence or not, just being a bit tired. That's probably what you could have said if a copper stopped you. I've just been for a run. I'm a bit tired. But that's it.
Yeah.
How far? Well, you don't need to know that. That's between me and the Running the Red Line podcast. But yeah, that's quite, maybe an even more big achievement if you drove home. But no, it's not. Driving home or running 100 miles. I think maybe the 100 miles might be a bigger achievement. But yeah, and speaking of, so very well done to you, Kieran. Speaking of Endure 24, there is also the Leeds edition this weekend, and big, not well done. I was going to say well done for volunteering. Is Freddie Runs, who volunteered at Reading because he wanted to just see what it was all about. So he went down and volunteered. I think he actually met Kieran as well en route. And so big shout out to Freddie Runs, who's going in for the Leeds version of Endure 24, who looks, by the way, incredible. He has lost so much weight, and now, according to his YouTube, says he can fit himself into a size large, which he hasn't done for a very, very long time. And for him, that's already a massive, massive achievement. And what I like about him is I think he's had some, let's just say, some critics along the way who have been doubtful of his, his targets and things. And he's got on the back of his top, doubt me now.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he's got running on his, what he'll be running with. And that's a big mantra to have. So, doubt him now. So yeah, all the best, Freddie. I hope you have a
Yes.
really good run out there.
Yeah, best
And
of
I
luck,
hope-
mate.
I
Go
hope you
for
and,
it, and yeah, hopefully all 24 hours are filled with running.
Yeah. So I'm sure that will be an unforgettable, or maybe quite forgettable at points, 24 hours. Have you seen? Do you know much about Endure 24? Did you read? Did you see much content on it? The night before
No.
it starts, there's like a rave. There's like a festival the night before it, and someone filmed. I think it was Freddie filmed like the. There's like a music tent. There's literally like a festival tent. I don't know how I'd feel about that. The night before a 24-hour race, and there's like a rave going on, and you're all trying to get some sleep. Can you keep it down, please, guys? I'd probably be standing up like I did at the quiz last night, going, guys, I've had enough.
This is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So yeah, I don't know. Would you ever consider a 24-hour running event like that? Because I think also you don't have to do it solely.
Yeah,
you can do
a
it
relay.
You can do a relay or as a team, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I do like the sound of it, yeah. But you'd have to really consider where it fit in with your training, because it's like we were saying about the silly challenges and stuff. It's going to really interrupt anything else that you're training for.
I mean, let's face it, Endure 24 is a silly challenge, isn't it? What are you guys doing? What are you doing? 24 hours running. That is off the chart crazy.
Yeah.
So just to attempt it is mad, let alone do it. So fair play to any of you that are crazy enough to do it. But it does look like a lot of fun, and I like the idea of relaying it. But I can just imagine you coming around the corner and me just snoring. You trying to wake me up, saying, "Come on, you've got to do 5 mile now." And I'd be like, "Oh, I'm having 9 hours, mate. I'll do it in 9 hours."
Yeah.
So I can imagine that has its own challenges, but it does look like a lot of fun, and it looks like a very good event, and I like the idea of the community aspect of it, 'cause it does look like a lot of fun. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, maybe one for the future. Yeah.
Nice.
But moving on to one last race is the Leamington Half, which is this weekend.
Oh yes, it is.
Which is being run, which you and I ran as a challenge not long ago. We did that a couple of videos, which is quite a difficult race, quite a hilly one, isn't it? As I remember.
Yeah.
And and
it always seems to be mega hot when the race is on, and people drop like flies.
Yeah, so I think they've actually started it. They've amended the start time, unless it's always been a 8:30 start. But I think it's a 8:30 start Sunday for Leamington, which I think is quite a good move, to be honest. Part of me wishes that races actually started earlier in this country, because, I mean, I'm sure you probably felt a similar way at London when you started at like 10 o'clock or whatever it was. Sometimes, like Valencia, I think they get you there for like 7:30, and you're away by 8 for some people. Some of the big ones in America, I think they start at about 7. Chicago starts really early. And I think being potentially done well before midday, for a lot of us, we'd take that. I quite like the idea of that, especially when the weather starts to warm up, and you can't sleep the night before a race anyway. So what else are you going to be doing?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I don't think it's the worst idea in the world. But yeah, good luck to anyone running the Leamington Half.
I'm just having a look to see if the race starts 8:30. On Sunday.
So for anyone that doesn't know, Brett and I did a challenge on our YouTube channels before this podcast. One of the only challenge we've ever done. We had great ideas. Oh, we should do this, we should do that, but we never got around to doing them. But the one we did do was a running naked challenge.
Yeah.
And we both covered our watches, and we both span a wheel in the start pen. We didn't know what we were going to run. And what were our times to try and run? You got 1:43?
I can't remember. I'm going to have to...
I think I got...
Have a look.
I think I got 1:54. And I think you got something like 1:43.
Yeah. I remember I had to run around 8 minutes a mile-ish. somewhere
That sounds
around
about
there.
right. Yeah, or maybe yours was 146.
I'm gonna try and find our video and
And
have a
yours,
look quickly.
a little spoiler alert, you were about 20 minutes faster.
I run at what I thought was easy pace, and I was nowhere near easy.
Yeah. And mine was probably a little bit easier for me because it was not far from my sort of steady pace. But trying to guess a pace is a real skill, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah, because running on feel is brilliant. But when you've got a watch to give you the metrics and you can check it to make sure that you're on that pace, it's a lot easier than just running to what feels like a particular thing, especially in a race when you've got other people running around you. When
Yeah.
you're training, it's a bit easier because, as you said, like with Merv going around the track, you can sort of feel out a pace around a track and how many seconds it's going to take you to get round without looking at your watch, or when you're out on a training run, you can sort of gauge tempo, pace, or gauge whatever it is.
Especially when it's further up the scale of effort as well.
Yes.
You know a certain pace you can't go any faster than, or you know
Yeah.
when your heart's really going some, you know how fast
Yeah.
you're probably going, yeah.
But in a race, when you've got other people around you going at different paces and stuff, that's so much more difficult.
And there were no paces either, were there?
No.
I don't think. So that didn't make things any easier.
So
But
I've just found the video and I had to run a 144.
yeah.
So
And that doesn't happen very often for you, does it?
So that's what I was going for, because I was coming back from injury, weren't I, in that race?
Yeah.
So I didn't want to try and run fast. So I still wanted to go and run the race, but didn't want to run fast. So I had 144, and you had to run a 146.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. I wonder what I got in at the end. I think I was nowhere near. I think I got in around 150 something, because I remember finding that race incredibly hard. I think my PB at the time was 145 or 140 maybe.
So hang on. Sorry, this is brilliant radio again, isn't it?
Are you watching adverts?
No, I'm trying to scan the end of the video to find what times we ran. So you ran. You needed to run 146, and you ran 148.06.
Oh, that's all right then. Well, that's not too bad.
So you were 2 minutes and 6 seconds over.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to run a
144.
144, and I ended up running and gone. Yeah, 137.02.
So you were 7. Yeah.
Yeah, I was 7 minutes under what I should have done, and you were 2 minutes over.
That's hilarious. It was a tough challenge though, wasn't it?
It was, but good fun. Really good fun.
Yeah.
Now, not being able to look at your watch was so weird. Within the first mile, tried to look at my watch probably 10 times. And then realised there was nothing there to look at.
Yeah. You just got to hope that you heard the beep, that you actually pressed it.
Yeah.
But was it the same race as this, where Rachel Davis...
Yeah, didn't run as well.
Didn't know that we were doing the challenge. And she said something like, I've run something like 1 hour 43:12. And she ran it.
Yeah.
Didn't she? She literally spot on, bang on the money. It was scary. How are you going to convince people that you didn't know? You can't do that sort of thing, because when it's like, when you've got something so difficult to get exactly on the money, people just think, oh, you must have been cheating. But she genuinely wasn't, because she says it on the camera before she runs into the finish.
Yeah.
And it's a it's a work of art what she did. That was
Yes.
an amazing prediction.
It was pretty incredible. But yeah, on Sunday, now I haven't actually mentioned this before, but Raceways, who organise Leamington Half Marathon, so the company that organise it, kindly asked me at the end of last year if I would be one of their running ambassadors for 2025, and I took on that role, and I was hopefully then going to be racing all of their races throughout 2025. But with my current injury, I'm not going to be able to run Leamington Half. But I am going to go over on Sunday. So I am going to be there. So if anybody who is listening to the pod right now is running Leamington, come and say hi. I'm going to take my camera along, and I'm going to film a bit of footage of the day and put together a spectating video, the same as I did with Two Castles last week. So if you do spot me near the finish line tomorrow, just come and say hi.
Well, I think Beardy Rich will be there.
Not tomorrow, on Sunday, I should say.
Sunday, yeah. I think Beardy Rich will be there. I think Sam Bauer's there as well. They're both racing it. And I know Beardy Rich is excited about Ari doing the kids' race.
Yes.
And Beardy Rich really wants Ari to go sub 20 for junior parkrun, which is 2K. Because his PB is about 20:10 at the moment. And he thinks that Julia, Ari's mom, is being...
a bit too lenient.
bit too lenient, giving him too much water, taking water breaks. And Beardy Rich is going to crack the whip. So he'll be running about a 12-minute 2K soon. So yeah, that sounds pretty funny. Not for Ari, though. But
no.
Look out for Beardy Rich and Sam there.
Yes.
If you are going. And but yeah. So excited.
Right. So now we've got all of that out of the way. Tell us about your second week of your Summer of Speed block.
Okay. So where did I leave off? Did I do Parkrun? Did we chat about Parkrun last week?
When did we record last week?
Friday. Did we? Was it after Parkrun?
Yeah, we did Saturday, didn't we? Because you were at the wedding.
No, that was the week before.
Was that the week before?
Yeah.
I'm lost with where time and weeks are. I have no clue. So
okay. Well, I'll go from
start with Parkrun. Start with Parkrun up to today.
Saturday went down to Parkrun and just ran it easy, but I did that massive knobhead thing where I ran the whole thing really easy. And then at the end, did a sprint finish for no reason at all.
And almost took out about 3 ladies at the finish line.
Well, they had it coming. They were stood in the way. So, don't get in the way of a galloping Brittany Spaniel and me. Is the male aggression coming out again? And so we overtook about 40 people on that last hill. But I don't know what it is about Worcester Woods. But that last finish is the hill is just about enough for you to think, yeah, that's not a hill. I'm going to just absolutely smash it up this hill. I don't know what it is about that hill. Anyway, so we did that, which was fun. I said to myself, don't do anything silly because tomorrow is Two Castles. So just did a massive sprint finish. Got a segment PB as well. So that was that. Sunday, I'll just quickly talk through this because it wasn't a PB, so there's probably no point dwelling on it too much. I did the Two Castles 10K, which, as we know, is one of our joint favourite races of the year, which goes from Warwick Castle to Kenilworth. And target for me was 42 minutes because PB is, let's just say 41. I think it's 40:55. So I think 42 minutes, taken in consideration the heat and elevation, I think, and my form at the moment, I think 42 would have been an appropriate thing to aim for. And I came in with 42:14 chip time. and
Excellent.
that included a few highlights. Were not starting my watch on time, which was brilliant. So I didn't start my watch for the first 100
You came
meters.
across the line 42 dead, didn't you, on your watch?
Yeah, I was like, yes, brilliant. Oh, I forgot to didn't start my watch for the first 15 seconds. So yes, and the hill, I should maybe not admit this, but I didn't find it that bad. It did slow me down because there's a bad hill at 5K and there's another one at 7K. But what I was saying to Rich at the end was, when there's a hill in a race where you're going a bit quicker, like a 5K or a 10K, it's over soon and you think, oh, was that it? But it feels steeper, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's over fairly quickly, but it just feels, because of the effort you're giving, it just feels a bit steeper. That's how I felt. So I was quite pleased. It wasn't as bad or as long as I remember it, but maybe just a little bit steeper. So
yeah.
After that water station, I think there's probably about 3 minutes or 2 minutes of hill, really, isn't there? It's not too bad. But yeah, managed to pick it back up. My splits, I just quickly rattle off my splits, and of course, a 40-minute 10K. I'm looking for 4-minute splits, really.
Yeah.
First split, don't know what I was thinking. Basically, I did 4:13 on my watch, so let's just add 14 seconds because I forgot to start it. So 4:27. What was I doing? Why was I running slower than half marathon pace? I genuinely don't know. Yeah, so there was a little bit of a hill, but I can't really blame it on that.
Hang on, did you split your watch?
Split it,
at the kilometre markers?
I split it at 1K, and then after that, I let it just go average every 1 kilometre split.
Oh, okay. So it is add on that extra time as well.
Yeah, because my first split
if it was just auto lap, then it would be what you ran anyway. Yeah, okay.
My first split was 940 meters or something like that.
Cool. Okay.
So yeah, that was a fairly slowish one. Then I did 4:03, 3:57, so sort of back on pace. 4:14, 4:17 for the hilly section, so not too bad. 4:22, and then 4:02 for 7. 4:22, so slowed down again. But then 9 and 10, I picked it back up to 4:03 and 4:05, and got in at 42:14.
Remember, in that 8th kilometre, that's where the hill is as well.
Yeah.
So that would have slowed you down.
Yeah. But I actually really enjoyed the race. Yeah. And I think, all things considered, not my best performance, but certainly not my worst performance. It was, and it was all right.
The conditions were pretty much perfect as well for running, weren't they?
It wasn't too warm. It was mild winds. There weren't too. The headwind wasn't that bad. So yeah, like you say, can't really have any excuses, really.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those days.
Yeah. Have you put your video together of that yet?
It will hopefully be out in the next 24 hours. Yeah. So I've just got to record a little voiceover for it.
Yeah, because I came over and obviously spectated, and I put a little spectator video together, just capturing some of you coming into that finish where you're all giving it your all, and you didn't even acknowledge me as you went past because you were in the zone.
I couldn't.
Which
I
was
couldn't.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to kick as hard as I could up that.
That's what I wanted to see. So yeah, no, it was good. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to seeing your video of it from the actual running perspective.
Shout out to Ryan as well, Ryan Close. Yes. For our glasses, who got a mention in our videos because he sent us some. With him and his lad, they go over to Portugal and his family, and they found last year some quote unquote Bretts, some wraparound glasses, and they've got again this year, and they've bought us a pair, which is amazing.
Yeah, it was incredible.
So we wore those, and then went back, did a quick top up with Beardy, Rich, and Sam. Tuesday did an easy club session and an easy run as well. Easy, literally just a few. I spoke to Christina about this, who's the coach. And she said, before my competitive races, all I would do the night before is warm up and strides. So I thought, that's good enough for me. So I did a couple of laps of Parkrun and, 5 easy K. Then I think I did 4 80-meter strides, something like that, and then called it a day, stretched and went home. And then Wednesday, 3,000-meter day. So
Yeah.
Let's have a quick chat about that. So I wanted 12 minutes, which maybe was too lenient of a target. I don't know, but having known how Sunday felt and having that in my legs, I just thought I'll try and aim for 12 minutes, which again is 4 minutes a kilometre, 96-second laps, which might be crucial information.
Mm-hmm.
And I went into it feeling quite nervous, and don't know why though, because at the end of the race I was like, I don't know why I'm so nervous. That was really good. And then you said, manually split your laps so I can know exactly what you've run, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is what I did. So we started up by the 200-meter to go line, the start of the 3,000. And then 7.5 laps later, I was done.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thrilled to announce that I did 11 minutes and 28 seconds. So a lot faster than I thought.
Which is awesome. Yeah. You were hoping at the high end to run about 11:30, weren't you? You were hoping that would have been like number 1A target. But you smashed through that. Yeah.
So I said, I don't really want to run any faster than 94 seconds per lap. First lap.
I was going to say, what did you run for the first lap, Andy? Didn't want to run any faster than 94, and you ran an 88.
And that doesn't sound a lot, but 6 seconds per lap is considerably quicker, isn't it?
Yes.
So I did get a little bit excited. And I'm in my Takumi Sen 10s, which are quite snappy, and they're perfect for that distance and on that track, aren't they? And I got a little bit carried away. And so I had a little should I stay or should I go moment. Shall I stay at this pace? But then I thought, no, that would be a terrible idea, running sub 90-second laps. So from then on, I cooled it down. So lap 2, 96, 3, 93, 93, 94, 94, 90 for the last 600. And then the last 200, I did it in 36 seconds, which would be approximate to a 62 second?
No, 72.
72 second lap. So 62 is a little bit quick, isn't it? That's quicker than I've probably ever run that pace before. And and decided to go with 200 meters. Well, I picked it up with 600 to go, but maybe I didn't pick it up enough, maybe. But like I said earlier, I've come away from it. Oh, no, sorry. Like I said on the video that you filmed, I came away from it thinking I probably could have done that a bit quicker if I was maybe a little bit braver on those laps early on.
Which is what you want for your first track race. You don't want to leave it thinking I couldn't have done any better than that. You want to leave it with a bit of positivity of, I reckon I could, go again and go a bit faster and improve your tactics and your pacing and things like that. Knowing there's things to work on and get better is better than finishing and going, I gave that my all and I couldn't possibly do any better than that. Yeah,
but I mean, I was really pleased with the discipline from 2 to 6. 136, 133, 133, 134, 134. Like I was really pleased with that volume of the race, that section of the race. I think I really sort of dialed in to the pace, which I was really pleased with.
And your kick going into the final 400 meters, as you came round for the final lap, you started to push around the first bend, and on the back straight you started to push a little bit, but as soon as you hit that 200 meters to go mark, your kick just appeared from nowhere, and I was like, this is ace. This is really good.
That's because I felt like, and I remember thinking this at the time, don't cross that line being able to stand up. Empty the tank, get rid of it all, leave nothing out there, because I don't want to be finishing this race thinking I could do another lap.
Yeah.
So I remember finishing that lap, sprinting as hard as I could for the line. There was nobody around me. I wasn't chasing anybody down, or there was no one chasing me down, I don't think. And it turns out if I'd have gone 200 meters earlier, I maybe even could have caught the guy before me, who finished about 4 seconds ahead. So yeah, but I finished for the club. I think 4th in age cat. I think.
Yeah, you were 4th in your age cat, and so in your race. So there was three races all happening at the same time. So there was what 16 people racing, but there was 3 different races. So there was a over 35s race, over 40s race, and over 60s race, all on the track at the same time. And you were 7th overall out of everybody, but you were 4th in your actual race, which is wicked.
Yeah. So I had a genuine fear of coming last, and now I realise how self-centered and selfish that feeling is, because it's not about that at all. It's about showing up for your club and, running within yourself and just enjoying track racing, trying something new.
Yeah.
Who cares where you finish? I mean, I finished 7th, so I'm pretty happy with that. But who really cares in the grand scheme of it? It doesn't matter whether you come first or last. But it was good fun. I really enjoyed it. Good event, and hopefully I'll be back.
And 5 points for your club.
Yeah. So really pleased with that. And I'm not sure now whether to only stick to the 3,000 and just try and work on that, or do I maybe knock it down and go the 1,500 one day?
You've got to have a go at 1,500 at some point. Yeah, you've got to have a go. Yeah, it's a completely different type of racing.
Oh, I can imagine.
As I say, I've done the 400, I've done the 800, done the 15, done the 3K, and the 400 and the 800 is just horrendous. The 1,500 is a completely. It's like the mile race you did. Obviously, it's slightly shorter, but it is go out at that kick pace and try and hold it for 4 laps, basically.
It's 4 all-out 400s, pretty much, isn't it? Not far off that.
It's 3 3/4, isn't it? 1,500 meters. But yeah, it's a completely different type of racing.
It sounds horrid. But yeah, sign me up. I'll have a go.
Yeah.
But there is a track meet at your gaff, isn't there? At the Abbey Stadium.
I think the next 2 meets are because one of the venues that normally take on a Vets League race couldn't do it this time. So B&R have stepped up. So we're now hosting the next 2 Vets League meets. But the next one, so the 3rd meet, will have a 1,500 rather than a 3,000. And then the 4th meet will be the 3,000 again.
Yeah, because there was no 400 meters in this one, was there?
No.
Is there normally a 400?
So I think they do 800s and 3Ks or 400s and 1,500.
Okay. Yeah. It was. I tell you what was good fun, watching the relay, the 4x4 at the end.
Yeah.
And the various clubs running in that. That was good, seeing people's tactics, and there's some really seriously good club runners about, isn't there?
Yeah.
Some real. Would you ever have a go at the 4x4? Have you ever been in the relay?
I've done it in the Vets League final. When we're over at Nuneaton, because we didn't quite have enough for a full team, so I went, I'll do it. Yeah, it's tough work.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine. That's disgraceful. But I don't know if I'm quite at that level yet. But yeah, I did enjoy it, and I've come away from it thinking, I would love to have another go at that one day.
Nice.
So, and I think it was good. Had a good training effect on me as well. So this week has turned into a recovery week with a 3,000 meter race in the middle of it, because I went out for a run this morning with Daisy, and I just felt like, didn't feel very good at all. So I think because of the 10K and then the 3K in the week, I feel quite tired. And so I've decided to do no speed work apart from those 2 races in the last 7 days. And then I'll pick it back up next week.
Yeah. Nice. Ace.
Yeah.
Good work, mate. That's
dude.
awesome. I really enjoyed watching that as well. I really enjoyed watching your
nice one
3,000 meters debut. And if anybody wants to see it, I will mention again that we have just put up a bonus episode this morning. So the full evening of before, during, and after the race.
I think the I think the glasses gained me 20 seconds.
Oh, definitely.
I think that the Josh Kerrs, I think I wouldn't have done sub 12 without them. So
and not wearing a hat as well helped.
It would have slowed me down, wouldn't it? So I'm glad I didn't wear a hat, and that's the only reason I didn't wear a hat. Not because no one else was, but that was good fun.
Do you know what? I can't remember the last time I've seen you run without a hat.
I never do it because sweat gets in my eyes. As you can see, when you were interviewing me, I just kept constantly wiping sweat from my eyes. The good thing about them Varga hats or whatever hats I wear, the feather-like ones, is that they just really absorb all the sweat. And when you've got no hair, you've got nothing doing that job for you.
Yeah.
And a hat for a bold bloke is nearly essential for warm racing. So that's why I normally would wear one.
That's one of the reasons when I had long hair, I used to wear that headband, is partly to hold the hair in place, but also to stop all the sweat running down into my face.
That's a good, because it will hit that band and just soak it up, won't it? Yeah. Do you miss your bonnet?
It's a lot easier in the mornings. I know that much. It's a lot easier in the mornings. I had it cut again last week, to be honest, just to try and sort out the fluff, because I went to a wedding and I thought I can't have a messy haircut whilst I'm at a wedding. So went to the hairdressers and said, I'll have it exactly the same as last time. She cut it shorter. So I'm trying to force it back out so it actually looks half decent again now.
Be careful of your hernia. Don't do no forcing.
Yeah, but I don't think I miss it at the moment. No, it's nice having a bit of a change. Yeah,
cool. Well, have we got time for any comments and emails? Because we've only got a couple of emails to read.
Yes. Should we go for emails or comments first?
I've got emails here if you want me to go ahead and just rattle through the emails. Or
if you want to.
Okay. So I'm going to start this one then from one we had earlier this week from Phil Jordan. Really lovely bloke. I met Phil at Wolverhampton. I think he mentions it in his his email. So just to let you know,
I Birmingham a couple of years ago.
Ah, right, cool. I completed the Hull 10K on Sunday, 8th of June, and was hoping to beat my Wolves 10K time of 45.06, where I met and spoke with Andy. The race went well, went out with the 45 paces, thought, hang on, I can go a bit faster than that. So pushed on to and got 9K, and I knew I was going to beat 45, but didn't know by how much. Last 400, pushed hard and seen the big blue finish gantry. Well, what I thought was the finish line. Out sprinted this young whippersnapper, crossed the gantry and started punching the air, happy. Then people were shouting at me, keep going, it's round the corner.
Oh, what?
What a dumbass. So went another 50 meters or so, and then I crossed the line with finish written on it. But I clocked 43.11. I was so chuffed, but I thought, oh, damn, could have been sub 43. But here we are. Thanks, boys, for all your content, videos. Big fan of you guys for years. Listen to every single podcast from day one. Long may it continue. Thanks for the joy and motivation you give me. The joy and motivation you give me. Love you guys to bits. All the best with the healing, Brett. You'll be back soon. And Andy, I hope to see you back at Warsaw soon. Cheers, guys. Phil Jordan. Nice one, Phil.
Nice. Cheers, Phil. That's brilliant. do you know what? Two Castles. Do you know as you came into the castle and you went through the gateway? Do you know there was it was like a timing mat across the floor. I'm not sure whether it was covering cables or anything, but there was like a timing mat. The amount of people who stopped there and stopped their watch and then looked up and saw the finish line down the straight and had to go again. So many people stopped there. It was crazy. So you're not the only one, Phil. You're not the only one who does that at races.
So easily done, isn't it?
Yeah. When you're in the zone, you're going for it and you absolutely hammer it to where you think the finish is. And
Yeah.
I mean, there was a pro ultra runner who did the same. She thought she'd finished and started celebrating with all the crowd and just walking around and everything.
She
And all
didn't
the crowd
lose.
were going, no. She managed to keep on to the lead. But yeah, she almost lost the race because she thought she'd finished and started celebrating with all the crowd and everything until people went, no, it's around the corner.
You haven't actually finished yet. Yeah. Oh,
So,
that's hilarious. But anyway, Phil, well done for the nearly 2-minute PB, it sounds like, or over 2 minutes, I think.
Yeah, awesome work,
So,
Phil.
yeah, really, really good. So well done, mate. The next one is from Mike K, and this one's got a slightly different tone to it. It says, "Hi guys, I'm writing to apologise. I listened to your podcast from the start until November when I picked up an injury which kept me from running for 6 months. It was Morton's neuroma, and it drove me insane. I stopped listening to the podcast and watching YouTube videos and basically consuming any running content. It was just all too hard. I'm back at it now and running circa 40k a week, which for me is perfect. I wanted to email to wish Brett a speedy recovery moving forward and to thank you both for the awesome content. Well done both. No, sorry. Well done on the recent marathons, which I obviously missed, but will catch up on. Finally, I just want to ask a question. I've got a half marathon coming up at the end of August. My current PB is just under 140. Do you think that 40 to 45k a week with deload weeks between now and then is enough to be prepared? Previously, I've followed training plans, but I'm enjoying the freedom of the freedom at the moment of doing my own thing. Thanks for all the content, guys. Mike. Well, awesome. Good to see you back on your feet, Mike.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Do you know what? For a half marathon, I don't think you need as much mileage as you would for a full marathon or anything like that. I don't think you need a huge high mileage to perform well at a half. First and foremost, you need to be enjoying your running, and you need to be doing the amount of running you can afford to do within your lifestyle. And if your lifestyle is saying that 40k a week is a good amount of running to do, and it's what you're able to do and still lead the life that you want to, then that's the perfect amount to be running. I don't think there's a specific of you need to be running this amount to be able to achieve this time or achieve this goal in your running. I mean, as long as you are putting in the good work, then it's going to be good no matter what.
Yeah, I see your point, because 40 to 45k is basically a marathon a week in terms of distance. So you'd obviously break your run up in parts and maybe get your speedy bits done, and then your easy run, and then maybe your Sunday long run, I would argue, is the most important thing out of the lot. So keep, I mean, I don't know what the actual, what people say, what portion it should be, but I'd say about 60%, maybe even over half of your weekly Sunday long run should be, or maybe not that much actually, because people will be doing a 50-mile run, won't they, if they're doing 100 miles. But like, I'd say keep your long run to around about between 10 miles and a half marathon, or around about 16k. But when I did I look back on this because only once ever have I trained specifically for a half. And that was the one where that's the It's On Andy race where Brett paced me. And we ended up doing sub 136 that day. And I looked back over my training recently. And for that 10 weeks, I started at 50k and finished at 70, or peaked at 70, then came back down to, I don't know, 30 or 40 for the taper by the end of it. So for me, I felt like I needed a little bit more than 40 and 50, 40 and 45. Just because personal preference, I like to stick easy miles in there, and I like easy plods. But yeah, so for me, if you want to run a similar time to what I did, if you've got exactly the same physiology as me, then do what I did. But you don't, so you don't have to.
Yeah, but I suppose it's all relative as well compared to what you normally run. So your average mileage is very different to what my average mileage is for a normal week. So if I was going to up my mileage, it would be up quite a bit more than other people's mileage and stuff. So it's all relevant to where you are starting from and how many miles you're running regularly as it is.
And one thing I would say, and this is purely from what I've learned from my experience, this might not be scientifically proven, but if you build mileage over a steady amount of time, I feel like your performance really, you feel the benefit of that. I've never done the experiment of running the same amount of miles every week for X amount of time. Like I can't give any advice on that because I've never run 50K for 4 months in a row. I've never done that. So I don't know how my performance would change. But all I know is that I personally do better when I have a peak, 85% of the way through or 80% of the way through my block, and then come down at the end for a taper. That's how my body performs best, I think. But that's the only way I know. So read into that what you will. Yeah.
Cool. So is that all the emails?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But thank you for that, Mike. That was awesome. So on to comments. So our first one is from John W9999, and it says, after months and months of rehabbing a hip labral tear, I've now got a possible meniscus tear. Just trying to stay positive and have a plan, but it's wiped out my remaining summer races. Injury is so frustrating. I am with you on that, John. Yes, that's terrible. Hopefully it's not a bad tear and you will be back sooner rather than later. But yeah, injury is one of the most frustrating things for us runners, because it completely wipes out the thing that we enjoy doing most, and that's getting out there and running. And when you can't do it, it's one of the most frustrating things ever. So rest up and heal up quickly, John, and hopefully you're back out soon. But just remember that recovery is really important, and getting over it fully before we do go out and push ourselves again. Next one is from Lee Chesterton, and he says, hi, Brett. Is there any way you can take the boot off and swim to maintain your fitness? If you don't kick and use a leg float, this could replace your running with swimming and give yourself a focus and endorphins hit you need to keep yourself sane through this frustrating time. Keep up the good work, lads. P.S. Unrelated injury issue, shoe news. I recently listened to a Paula Radcliffe pod where her guest was her physio for many years, Gerard Hartman. He's a very fascinating and knowledgeable guy and spoke about many running-related issues and included the link between super shoes and running injuries. I would really recommend a listen.
Oh, okay.
So that's interesting. First of all, on that one, Lee, I have thought about the possibility of swimming, and but the temptation to kick, I think, would be far too much. Even putting it on a leg float or something. And the doctor has said anything that could twist my leg, as well as putting impact on it, is a no-go. So, although I'd love to, I don't think swimming is possible at this moment in time. I have thought about the possibility of doing some underwater running or walking. So using the water as resistance against my body. So that means I can do that running motion. But
that's a potential underwater. Brett and Andy challenge.
Yeah, there we go.
100 meters underwater.
Yeah. So I have thought about that. But what I've decided that next week, no matter what, I'm going to get down to the gym, because it's been 7 weeks now since London Marathon, and I've done a grand total of nothing. So I am going down to the gym no matter what happens, and I'm going to try some static bike really gently, no resistance, and just see how I get on, because that's basically all the doctor said. would be okay, because it's keeping your leg forward, no twisting. And just gentle. So we'll see, and I might try a bit on the ski erg as well that somebody mentioned and see what that's like. But I don't want to build up my top half of my body whilst I can't exercise the bottom half of my legs, because I don't want to build up the top half of my body. And so we'll see. But thank you for that, Lee. And on the second part with the super shoes, they have linked, super shoes to possible running injuries if you run in them too much. And that's why I always leave super shoes for races. I don't train in super shoes and carbon. I tend to train in normal daily shoes and then leave the carbons for racing, so that you're not relying on that carbon fiber plate or rods to give you that extra benefit whilst you're training. You're actually building up the strength and the muscles in your legs and your feet to actually take the impact properly.
Yeah.
Next one is from Q on the Run, and I'm guessing it's TQ who's written this because he's put, "Oh dear, entrance secured. Cheers, lads." So the Dublin Marathon is on, and I think KQ has signed up for it as well.
Amazing.
So they are both on the road to the Dublin Marathon.
Because that's notoriously hard to get into. So have they qualified for it? Have they run a qualifier, do you think?
I think they got good for age times for it.
Ah, brilliant.
From when they did their marathons at the end of last year.
That's amazing. You boys are going to have such a good time out there.
Yeah. So amazing work, TQ and KQ. And looking forward to hearing all about it and seeing the training block up to it on your channel. So look out for that if you don't subscribe to TQ. Sorry, not TQ on the Run. Q on the Run.
Q on the Run.
No, cool. Next one is from Matt Salvam, and he says, "A lovely 2 hours and 28 minutes bumper this week. This will do." So yes, I think it was it a PB last week? I don't know.
Oh, it was a PB. Yeah, it's a PB. Yeah.
But cheers, Matt. Cheers for listening as always.
I wonder if we should start calling them PWs. Personal worst 2 hours 28.
Definitely. Next one is quite a big one actually. It's from Chris Walker, and he says, "Hi Brett and Andy. I've listened / watched the podcast each week from the first week. It is my go-to on a Sunday. Even my wife, who isn't a big running fan, enjoys listening, which goes to show you are both doing a great job and keeping things fresh. Keep it up."
Wow. Awesome.
That's awesome. Cheers, dude. Then I have had plenty of injuries from running over the past 10 years and can understand how frustrating it is for you, Brett. I wish you a speedy recovery. Thank you very much. Last year, I had a metatarsal fracture as I had carried on running on a stress fracture. Knowing I would be out of action for months got me down. Anyway, I decided to do something about it and started to do my local parkrun at Burnham on crutches each week for about 3 months.
Wow.
My wife and teenage daughters thought I was mad, and they were more than a bit embarrassed. I started off getting round in about 45 minutes. Each week, I tried to beat my time. It was a full-body cardio workout. As the weeks went by, I became more and more proficient, and I could also do some weight bearing through the injured foot. I ended up with a crutch run PB of 22:40.
That's flipping hell.
I think I did the last mile in 6:30. I used to get some strange looks from visitors to Burnham, and I can't lie, I loved overtaking some decent runners on my crutches. For months afterwards, I was referred to as the bloke on crutches. Whilst a bit crazy and against medical advice, I had something to aim for each week, and it got me through a very hard time in my running journey. Just a thought to see if you might want to give it a go, Brett. I can highly recommend.
How do you you think about how long a crutch step would take?
Yeah.
How do you do crutch running? That's
pretty impressive. 22:40 with the final mile in 6:30.
So is that alternating crutch? It can't be double crutching at the same time. Was that alternating crutch?
No.
I'm fascinated by seeing this technique.
That's mad, isn't it, Chris? That is incredible.
And what's his second name?
Walker.
He's no Walker, is he?
No. No.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
That is amazing. I don't think it's something I'm going to try. Number one, because I don't own any crutches. Yeah, I have thought about doing park walk in my boot, but I don't know.
You just look like some Parkrun pirate or something. I would love to see this 22-minute parkrun with crutches. That is incredible.
Yeah,
that's the sort of material we want on the Running the Red Line.
Yeah.
Crutch running the red line. Love it.
Yeah, Chris, if you have any photos of you crutch running, please send them in so
That's niche.
We can show people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There's got to be a category for that in the marathon.
Possibly. Yeah.
That could be, because you might be completely healed of your injury now, but enter a marathon on your crutches. There ain't going to be anybody running it faster than you, Chris. Yeah, tempting.
Yeah, brilliant. Amazing. Thanks for that, Chris. Next up is Mark Hurdy-Gurdy.
Here he is.
And he says, 2 Castles. Great race. Loved it. Did the bus from Kenilworth to Warwick pre-race. Work to treat. Brilliant organised event. Had a great chat with Andy and Beardy Rich before the start. Andy tried to give me some course advice. But like Brett, I didn't trust it. For example, I reminded Andy that it's an uphill finish, and he omitted that from his course description. I think Andy just forgets the last phase of a race. Do you agree, Brett? Yes, I do. Yes. Yeah. And Andy and his course descriptions, I wouldn't trust. So, yeah, if you do ever see him at the start of a race, don't fully believe his course description because...
last 5K is all downhill.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm glad you had a great race over at 2 Castles, Mark. I'm glad our recommendation went down well. Yeah, it's such a good race. So yeah, it's awesome to hear that you enjoyed it too.
Yeah, good to see you both, you and Joe, and didn't get to see you at the end, but it was lovely to see you beforehand. So
yeah, I missed you as well, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm sure I will see you at a race at some point soon.
Yeah.
Next up is Rob Scott, and I've just flashed over this, and this is quite a good one. It says, hearing about Andy's pass gig at Warwick Castle and the Merlin Pass got me thinking.
Right.
You guys are making your way through the Merlin attractions via the pod. Andy worked at Warwick. You've both done the Alton Towers half.
Yeah.
Brett's been in Shrek. And you've done a lot of wax content. So that's Madame Two Swords. Only a few more to tick off. Are there any races at Thorpe Park or Legoland?
I'd love to do a Legoland one.
Yeah.
There is a Thorpe Park race, actually.
There is. Yeah, I think there is a Thorpe Park one. Yes.
Run Through might even do that.
Yeah.
But Legoland, that'd be brilliant doing a Legoland one.
So we've got a couple more of the Merlin Pass events or places to do. So we might have to do a Legoland challenge if there's not a Legoland race.
I'm down for that. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I'm down for that.
That's brilliant. And then we got another one from Mark Hurdy-Gurdy on last week's episode. And it's a great point Brett made about the tongue being too short on the Evo SL due to maybe going for the run/lifestyle crossover market. As running is becoming more popular, particularly with younger people, I think the brands are going to make more shoes with a running/lifestyle crossover. Yeah, I think, the fact that it works so well with the Boost and the Ultra Boost shoes, and the fact that they transition then into the Yeezys as well, and the Yeezy line, because they all use Boost foam for their midsole. So yeah, I think that could be something that we see a lot more of, is the running lifestyle shoe. So we shall see what they come out with. But last couple of comments are from our video we put up this morning of your 3,000 meter. And the first one is from Maverick Mike Runs. And he says, thanks for the video. Brought back memories of when I was a club runner in the mid to late 80s as a teenager. Well done, Andy. Great running. And hopefully won't be much longer before you can do some exercise, Brett. take care, guys. Have a good weekend. So thank you for that, Mike. And yeah, I'm glad we can bring back some memories of younger races, which is awesome. And then the last one is from our mate Gary Manders, who has been a friend of the pod since the start.
Yeah.
And he said, "Great vid, Brett. Love the Elesmore school of torture. Always gives me a chuckle. You talking to the shivering wreck Maguire into these things." Well done, Andrew. Great running. Look forward to more of these type of vids. Fingers crossed that the boot comes off sooner rather than later, Brett. Fair play to the Batman and Robin of running.
Oh, brilliant. I'll take that.
I'm Batman.
We even said we should be like Anton Deck and we should always be on one side of the camera and always be aware of it. But
yeah,
I can never work out which side.
No, we'll have to make a decision which side that we need to stand on. Because all through that video, we were Andy and Brett. You were on the left of the camera and I was on the right. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually think Brett and Andy works better. Andy and Brett. I think Brett and Andy trips off the tongue easier.
Yeah.
So I think it should because of Brandy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Brett and Andy actually, even though you normally go with the alphabetical order, don't you, when you say two people's names together?
Yeah.
So well, we've got one last thing to do. I forgot. Yes, I was just about to say we're done, but we're not.
No, we're not done because we've got one last thing, and you know what that is, don't you?
I do, which is why I'm cowering.
The Strava segment. So we've got our Strava segment from last week's Strava leaderboard. And can you guess who is at the top of our distance leaderboard this week?
If it is not... Yeah, go on.
Sorry, just to say, he topped the leaderboard by exactly 40 miles.
Well,
4-0.
If it's not Kieran Turner, then he should have done his extra lap. Imagine if he missed out by 5 miles. We'll do him a t-shirt.
Yeah, but it is indeed Kieran Turner with 109.4 miles, which is awesome.
Yeah, congratulations.
So awesome work, Kieran. And then in second place was Denai Kuden with 69.4 miles. And then third was Bradley Maybury with 67.8 miles. So awesome work from you three. And then our climbing top three. In first place with 6,864 foot of climbing, we have Mark with a C.
It's Mark with a C.
In second, we have Kieran Turner with 6,585 foot of climbing. And then in third was Roberto Mendez with 6,050 foot. And then our top three ladies. In first place, we had Rachel Watson with 60.2 miles. Second was Chloe Hamard with 58.9 miles. And third was Victoria Lee with 42.5 miles. So awesome work from everybody on there. So if you want to hopefully be on the Strava leaderboard and be in the Strava segment in the future, go and join our Strava club. And we may see you up there very soon.
And do an Endure 24 once a week and you should stay at the top.
Yeah.
But don't forget to send us in an email.
Yes.
Or a DM of your name and your... Is that all they need?
Parkrun number.
And the Parkrun PB.
Number,
yeah.
And your PB.
Yeah.
But email in if you would like to be a part of it. Now, it's not... You don't have to. You can just listen in each week and enjoy everybody's challenge. But if you do want to be a part, you need to be in from the start. We can't accept entries halfway through. We need to do it as a 6-week block. So if you would like to be in the inaugural, we haven't even got a name for it yet, but Parkrun Premier League.
You've got to be in it to win it.
Yeah,
from the
you
very
need to
very
be
start.
in by Thursday next week. So send us an email, send us a DM, and get your name on the entry list. But we
And
look forward to hearing from you.
And don't forget, you don't have to do 6 consecutive park runs. You only need to do 1. And even if it goes badly, it doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
just
You've got six bites at the cherry.
Yeah.
And it all goes off your Parkrun PB. So the time you are running against is your own time, no one else's. We're not comparing you to anyone else. We're comparing you against your time.
You could get 6 PBs in a week. Maybe this could be your summer of speed that you didn't know you needed.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm going to be having a go as well. So, yeah, looking forward to this.
Excellent. So, thank you so much for listening or watching. And we shall see you next week. And we shall release the details of whatever it will be called.
Yeah.
So, cheers, guys.
Cheers. I've got a race tomorrow. Forgot to mention that. It's a little one down on the south coast in Dorset. Same one I did last year.
Amazing.
I'm taking Daisy and Laura, so it's going to be fun.
Awesome. Is Daisy going to run it with you again?
Yeah, we're all doing it. Yep.
Oh, you're all doing it, all 3 of you?
Yeah, we're all doing it. Yep. So
awesome.
It should be good.
Awesome. Okay. Ace, we shall hear all about that next week.
Yep. Looking forward to it.
Cheers, guys.
See you soon.